There we are.
Does anyone need a PR script or everything else? Anyone? Move.
What's up? What's up, people on the YouTube? There we go. Wait, does this work? No, Kathy's tall, so. Oh, today was a great morning. Did you guys see the sun? It was out. It was out like at 11, but then it like left. So. Does anybody know what happened on 59 North? I don't know because I don't come from that way. So, and I don't know what that is either because I just moved here, so I have no idea. Yeah.
We'll put on a VI from our guys downstairs because people are still coming, and you can be the one that lets everyone in. Cool. So Kendall can come up. Hello, whoever's out there.
I need what PDI.
Huh?
I need what PDI.
Can
you live stream there?
Is that your real hair?
I don't
This
know.
is my hair.
I have it on my phone. It's just
I was like, oh, wig. Thank you.
do you need both laptops? If you do, I'll just do it from my phone.
I don't need this laptop at all.
Oh, okay.
I was just typing
Just
myself.
type in Kathy
Kathy
Vasquez
Vasquez with a C.
click her face, and it should be the first
Kathy
video.
Vasquez on the search, and then click her face and
It should say Receptionist Workshop.
Receptionist Workshop.
Go for it. And then we'll need more chairs. We can set up. Hello, come on in, come on in.
All right, bye-bye.
We need this. All right. Just grab more chairs and put them all around. This was just from training. This wasn't for today. Because there's more people than this, so we should just be normal stops. It's cool.
Yeah, there's stuff to
Huh?
staple.
You can do that, because then you're going to do mailer stuff. Like just regular shows and non-shows, and then you'll go into mailer stuff. Cool. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yes, you don't need rock right now. Can I have a PR approach, por favor? All right, so we've got people on their way. Kathy's not really patient. We're already starting 15 minutes late, so I'm going to roll.
All right, everybody else is just going to have to wait. All right. Come on, bye-bye.
Is Kendall coming up?
Yep, she's coming.
All right, so who do we have here live? So we've got 2 from Cyprus or more from Cyprus? 2 of you guys? So Cyprus as well? So there's 3 of you. 3. All right, and what office are you from? Jordan's, right? Okay, cool. So Jordan's office. Yeah, so I just met her downstairs. I was like, all right, you're the one. Got it. All right. I'm Kathy. I am the division coordinator. I oversee all of Gulf Coast, which is 19 offices. So I also have over 10 offices back home throughout South Florida, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and up to Rhode Island that I mentor. So grab those and let's start. Just grab she's getting them around. Just stay quiet. Don't worry about that right now. Cool? Don't worry about that right now. So you do want something to take notes with. So I wanted to come in today. I normally don't work on a Sunday. I normally don't work a lot with the receptionist. I worked a lot with Lorena in years past, and Lorena kind of handles that torch. But I really wanted to get some time with everybody just to kind of meet everyone. I know she's been running all the training, get a chance to really share some thoughts that helped me elevate results as I took receptionist calls as a assistant manager, as a branch manager, as a district manager, and receptionists that I've worked with. Like one of my top girls, Lori, who works in Fort Lauderdale, has been here over a decade. And she's someone that when I moved into the business, the old manager, and I was told by the top people, oh, you probably want to replace her, and they said they didn't know how well she'd do or whatever. And then I met her and I'm like, I love her. I'm like, she's great. I'm like, she will do fantastic. And what I know is that when we have someone that has a great attitude, is friendly and can connect with people, they can be the most bad but receptionist. Now, they might not have the best numbers at first. She didn't have the best numbers at first, by the way. Lori didn't have the best numbers, but they had the attitude. They had a great sound. They had a great voice. They had a great attitude, and that's what it takes. And then it's just learning technique, right? So some people, like, they catch on to it a lot quicker, where others don't. And there's little things that really make a big difference. And I wanted to discuss that because even this week, I heard some of my girls making calls here. I was like, ooh, you know, and just little things that I know from when I started 13 years ago that I learned that really do make an impact on your results and what happens. And the fact is, this group of people, our you know, RAs, our ERAs, you know, they're all the recruiting assistants. Like, this is the most important group of people in our organization. And I told that, I was talking to our managers yesterday. We had a staff meeting from 4:30 to 10:30 p.m. last night. And we were here in the office till late, and I was talking to them. I said, you know, the most important thing is our team. And I can't wait for next week. And on Saturday, we have our big training that Lorena will be primarily running, and I'll help out with some stuff at the end. Charlotte's going to chime in as well. And I said, I know the impact it has when we have great people at our front line. Because the funnel, who gets to the top of the funnel? You guys do, you know? And if we can have the most amazing impact, and not just you guys, but all of us, because I've been calling PRs, by the way. 3 of the people we launched out this week from my office, 3 out of 8, I set for interviews, you know? And so I'm talking to them too, as a division coordinator who oversees almost 30 offices, who has a staff of like 100 people to look at, all right? And not even our RA staff, which that's another, like, you know, 200 people, all right? I'm still calling people and setting them up for interviews myself, because I know that when I speak to them, I'm going to have the best connection. I'm going to have the best show. I'm going to have the best impact. At least that's what I think in my head. And I know that if you all feel that way and you're like, if I talk to them, they're all showing. You know, I know if they get to just speak to me for 2 minutes, like, they're freaking coming. You know, do you have that confidence? It's like, I'm amazing. If they talk to me, they're going to love me. And that's how you should feel, because if not, you would not have been selected for this position if your managers didn't feel that way. Does that make sense? Like, when we select people for this position, we're like, man, this is someone I feel could connect with people. This is someone I feel that people would really like when they talk to over the phone and get to meet in person. One of the things that I love most as a manager, and through the years of running an office, one of my most favorite things is when I had applicants come in and be like, where's Autumn? I have to meet her. Where's Lori? I have to meet her. Where's Lorena? I have to meet her. That is one of my most favorite things, because you know what? I know they did a heck of a job connecting with that person, and that person can't wait to come meet them, and can't wait to come get a chance to chat, because they connected with them on the phone. And that really makes an impact, guys. You know, when someone comes to the interview, when I think about, especially PRs, right? We're going to call a lot of PRs today, and then mailers are hitting this week, all right? These are our 2 biggest sources for the summer. Our PRs, it's our #1 source, and then mailers gives us some of our best people. For those that don't know, mailers cost 55 cents a piece, okay? Just so you know, in the pilot, I sent 53,000 of them, okay? So if you're not good at math, which I can't do off the top of my head, you can almost divide, but just to look at this, all right, so you guys can see, 55,000 divided by 0.55, or multiplied. So when you have, plus taxes, but 55,000 mailers times, 55 cents a piece is $30,000 that I spent for calls to come in from letters. Now, is every person going to call from a letter? No. So every time that freaking phone rings, it's worth, for most managers, over $30. For me, it's worth a little bit more, all right? Because of the amount that I set out, the percentage that we get. Just so you ladies know, in my office, every mailer call, minimum, it's $100 plus, $100 plus, every one of those. You miss one of those calls, it's like I just burned a $100 bill. You missed 3 mailer calls that week, we just burnt $300. I can't pay you. Like, what? Yeah, like we missed 3 mailer calls. That was $300. I can't pay you. All right, and can you take it with that kind of importance? Because it is like that's your managers. Like, by the way, Eric in Cyprus spent the most money he has ever in his career. He has been here over a decade. He has never ever invested into mailers, and he was like, Kat, I'm scared to spend that much money. I said, I want you to trust. He goes, you know what? I trust you. He goes, I want to follow what you've done. My office, these are our national championships. We've done pretty well. He said, I'm going to trust whatever you do. And I really applaud him for that, because it takes a lot of courage to do that, for him to go out on a limb and say, okay, I'm going to spend $24,000, on these letters, and hope to God I make my money back. And not just make my money back. Who wants to spend money to make it back? We want to invest money to multiply it, okay? And that takes its risk, right? And it's a risk of us putting it out there. First of all, saying, hope people open the envelope. Then when the calls come in, I hope that people connect with my people and want to come in and not go, actually, they seem kind of shady. I'm not going to go there. Because the fact is, there's a lot of random bull crap online. Friends of mine told me, don't do this job. It's a scam, da-da-da-da. And half of the people never going to work for our freaking companies. So it's ridiculous. But regardless, it's a phenomenal program, and I'm very passionate about it. It's something that, you know, for any of you guys that don't know, I always talk to my guys about this. I was talking to our fair and show coordinator on Friday for a while, and I was talking to our managers. I said, don't forget what we do. We're not just the people that sell knives. Yes, we have some kick-butt products. All right, and you'll hear me talk about this next week when I wrap up the meeting. But like, we're not just the people that sell knives. We're the people that provide young people with the most unreal freaking experience to hook up their resumes, to have any freaking job that they ever want. That's what we do. Because we, and this is why Vector's used, for those that don't know, this is a required course at Purdue. You cannot graduate from the business school there, a marketing major, if you do not take the Cutco Vector class, just so you know. It's part of your requirements to graduate. At schools, these professors have been with us. At UT over in Austin, by the way, all right, Dr. Robert Peterson has been on our board since 1988. And he's the director, he's the president of all the research at the University of Texas, by the way, over in Austin. All right, Dr. Derek Hasse, I've met all these guys, by the way, because they go to our national conference every year in October, the managers go to. So I've met these guys for all of them over a decade. They've been on our board. She's been on our board since 2001, or I guess she was the newest one, Miss Dr. Linda from University of New Mexico. But Dr. Victoria Crittenton, she was actually at Boston College forever, just transferred to Babson College last year. Even one of my kids who went to school there, Adriano, met Dr. Victoria Crittenton when she was at Boston College in 2012 and had a chance to speak with her. She said, this is one of the most amazing things that you can do for yourself as a young person, for your resume, for your experience, for you to learn how to work with people, how to learn interviewing skills, how to learn networking, time management, grow in self-confidence, you know, being able to interact one-on-one in a professional setting. She's like, and for you, and he wanted to do our entrepreneurship program. All right, our students can run an office for the summer, and you'll see some of the girls work for some of our summer offices, right? Lake Jackson, Magnolia. We'll have, like, there's different, we have 9 different just summer offices. And these guys are college students who for the summer are doing an entrepreneurship internship with us. And they are actually running their own business for the summer and being able to utilize that experience to apply it to their own dental practice, to their own art studio, to their own, you know, I don't know, I have some guys who law firm. One of my guys has a tutoring company. One of my guys is a chiropractor and has his own practice. There's a realtor. You know, people who have worked with me in past years that are utilizing this now in their own businesses, and it's pretty awesome. And that's what, and I'll talk about that. So we've been partnered with a lot of different programs at the schools. We work on building resume skills, you know, and there's a lot more here, and I'll talk about it, like I said, more next Saturday. But this is why I'm still in the business 13 years later. Not because I just love selling knives. That's kind of weird, okay? It's about the skills for life. It's about that poster back there you guys see by the water. It says Vector Skills for Life Success Stories. And all the people we meet and what they've accomplished and what they've done because of their Vector experience. So I just want to share that with you guys so you can take pride in what you represent and what you offer. Because when I talk to people, like, I know what we have available is freaking awesome for them. If they want to make income, there's a chance to make some great money. I made 22 grand in 2.5 months as a 19-year-old, 13 years ago, okay? And I've coached a lot of people to do the same thing. One of my top kids from last summer, his mom messaged me this morning, Happy Mother's Day. And I was just like, Happy Mother's Day to you. She's like, well, you're like my kid's other mom. He always talks about you. So she's like, besos, kisses, whatever. You know, she's like, I hope you're doing awesome in Texas. I said, I'm doing great. And this was my #1 rep last summer's mom texting me today, Happy Mother's Day, you know? And it's just so cool. And she's like, you helped my son so much. You know, she had sent me to, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm, she's like, are you the woman that pushed my son and made him do all these things? And then now he's helping run one of his dad's businesses with their tequila company. And she's just like, you taught him so much. There's no way my husband and I would have ever thought that he could have handled what he's doing right now. But from what he learned with you last year, It's amazing to see how he works with people, how professional he is, how organized he is. He has his schedule. He goes to his appointments, his meetings with our distributors and everything for the tequila company and like all the stuff that they're doing. And it's just so neat to see that. And I love that. And I'm like, that's what I do. When people ask me what I do, I say I'm a skills for life teacher. They're like, huh? How does that work? I'm like, I teach people networking. I teach people self-confidence. I teach people interpersonal skills. I teach people time management. I teach people how to run business. We have an entrepreneurship program. I teach people, I happen to do it by selling some pretty badass knives. All right. And I just, again, I share that with you guys because I feel that the receptionists, our RAs, our recruiting assistants that really get that always have our best shows. Our girls that really know what they represent always do the best. And I can look through all the years that I've ran an office, okay? 12 years I've been running an office. And always my best girls were passionate about what we did. Most of them also sold Cutco, by the way. Some didn't. But they knew everyone who did, and they believed in the opportunity, and they loved the products, and they loved what we represented, and they loved what they represented, and they knew the opportunity they gave someone. And when someone said, they weren't interested or whatever, they were like, man, they felt bad for that person. They're like, sucks for them. Sucks for them. They're not going to get exposed to this community, this environment, the encouragement, the motivation, and the chance to hone these skills that you don't get working at a mall or a restaurant, okay? I was a waitress for years. I worked retail forever. I was a bartender. And it was fun, and I made good money, but it was not the environment that I had here, and it was not a chance to gain the skills that I could here. And I got really good with people, obviously bartending and waiting tables, but it's very different learning the professional skills that you learn here, all right? And really learning how to run and own a business, not just be a worker in it. Does that make sense? And I want you guys to take pride in your position because you represent a hell of a company that offers the most unbelievable opportunity to young people. And anytime you hear me talk, you'll hear me be very passionate about it because I love what I do. And when someone's like, talk some crap, I'm like, you just don't know it. That's ignorance is what it is. Because if you really knew what we did and what we offer, everyone who knows it is blown away. Every entrepreneur, every millionaire, every person I've ever met that I share what I do. I go to Tony Robbins events where I'm around millionaires, billionaires, people that own multiple, and they're like, so what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm a skills for life teacher. I said, I work with young students. I work with this, that. I have my own company. I said, we represent Cutco Cutlery. Have you heard of Cutco? And they're like, they're so great. They're like, so wait, this is the knife thing. And I said, yeah, well, the knife thing is to teach students, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, wow, I had no idea. That's a response I get all the time. Well, I had no idea. I said, yeah, it's not just a random sales job. I said, it's a skills for life development program. I said, these students get paid just to show the products and it's to allow them a chance to learn these skills. And heck yeah, they can make some money. I was like, it is really cool to see the paychecks these guys earn. My top kid last weekend, his first weekend, Jay, earned $1,512 in his first 2 days on the job. That's crazy, okay? That's not normal, by the way, but he's a high school senior. He hasn't even graduated high school yet. He has AP exams all next week. Monday and Tuesday is AP exams. He got finals next week, and he graduates on the 23rd. I've never seen a job where young people can earn that legally, okay? So that's pretty awesome. So for someone who want to make money, we have it. For someone to get experience, we have it, all right? And so for me, why do I get almost every person I talk to want to meet me or talk to me or come in and check it out? Because I know what we offer. And when they're like, I already have a job, I'm like, well, that's probably why they recommended this to you. I said, honestly, it's super flexible. By the way, I had 2 other jobs when I started this job. And my friends never recommended me because I already had 2 jobs. And I found a flyer, a little business card on the floor at school, by the way. And I was like, student work. Like, I'm a student. Like, I need work. I wanted more money. I was getting cut hours at Macy's. I was getting, crappy shifts at the restaurant because it was summer and it dies down in West Palm Beach in summer. I was just like, man. And I went to check it out and I ended up going to work and I loved it. And I ended up making $1,600 my first week on the job. I was like, man, this is awesome. And then I kept doing that. And then I quit one job and then I quit the other. And I was like, screw that. I'm just going to do this, and it turned out pretty well. And it's provided for my family and it's done a lot. And I'll never have to worry about money in my life, which is pretty awesome. All right. But the fact is, no one, I had someone else, oh, I already had a job. And if I, would have called me and I would have been like, oh, I already have a job. They're like, oh, okay, well, have a great summer. Like, no. When someone tells me they already have a job, I'm like, well, hey, awesome. Like, they probably recommended it because it's so flexible and the experience benefits it has for you. And they're like, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you can earn college credits. You can compete for scholarships. I'm like, the program teaches time management and interpersonal skills. And they're like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's at least worth checking out. I'm like, worst case, you get some good interviewing experience, but it's at least worth checking out. I'm like, totally up to you. I said, but it's at least worth checking out. One of my top kids that I'm going to train this week, Paul, canceled on me last Wednesday. I set him up. It was a PR I called. And then he called and said, he texted me, I told the managers last week, he said, hey, I apologize. Nothing personal, but I'm going to have to, like cancel my interview for whatever reason. I'm just going to stick with my current job. And actually I have the conversation, but I just kind of laughed. So I'm like, of course it's nothing personal. You've never even met me, right? I'm like, how can it be personal, right? So this is literally our conversation. He goes, no, Tuesday at 10:20. It's nothing personal, but I think I'm gonna have to stick with the job. I think I'm just gonna stick with the job I have. You can go ahead and cancel the meeting. I'm truly sorry for the inconvenience. I said, it can't be personal, laugh out loud. I haven't met you. He's like, true. I'm still sorry, haha. I'm like, well, I think it's at least worth checking out. You might love it, you might not. Won't take very long just to learn about it. If you change your mind, I'll be down in Memorial area this afternoon. He's like, all right, you know what, that's true. I get out at 3. Do you want to meet? Whatever. And so we set up a time to meet. And we met, by the way, and I said, so what was your reason for canceling? What are you looking for? What were your hesitations? What happened? He goes, honestly, like friends told me it was a scam. Like I heard this, and that, and they told me I shouldn't do it. And I just kind of laughed. I go, I get that. I said, I heard that too. It's like, are you cool if I just tell you who we really are and what we do? And I told him about our company, and he was just like, this is awesome. Like, I can't wait to do this. And then he saw the scholarship brochure, saw James Rushing, one of our top people. And he's like, I know him. And James, I texted James like a selfie of us, and selfie goes, where are you? Where was that? I'm like, right now. James calls me. He's like, you're with Paul? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, put him on the phone. I put Paul on the phone. He's like, hey, how are you? And he like knew, they knew each other from some swim camp or something. I don't know, something that they had met. And he knew James' little sister, who goes to Stratford. So Paul's a senior right now. And they start talking, and whatever happens, like he's so excited to start the job, and it's just completely different. It's just, who they're exposed to. So they're going to get outside influence. We know that sometimes people will not show to interviews or cancel because of things like that. But like, I want to follow up with those people. If I'm you and I set someone, I take pride in them showing up. I want them to come check this out, And when they don't come, I'm like, dude, what's up? I'm like, it's at least worth checking out. I'm like, you might, like I told them, you might like it, you might not, but it's at least worth checking out. Like, it's pretty awesome. Great experience, great stuff for your resume. You can earn college credits. You can win scholarships. I said, not many jobs offer stuff like that for students, and a chance for advancement. So really up to you, but definitely worth at least checking out. I mean, think about it. What's the worst that happens? They get some good interviewing experience, and it's not for them. It's the worst that can happen, right? But the best that can happen, they freaking love it, and it turns out to be something that changes their life and has for many people changed the course of their financial life, or just the self-confidence they gain with this job and what it provided for them in their future, okay? So as far as when I think about why do people show to interviews? Why do people not show to interviews? All right. So first of all, for my first 20-minute rant, what's your conviction? Because I think that the person talking to them on the phone, their conviction plays one of the biggest roles in the show or not show, by the way. Like, huge. Now, beyond that, all right, and I know for some people you just start off. So you're like, I don't know, I just got hired for this weird job with people that play music all the time and have weird things on the walls, and like, I don't really get it, and there's knives everywhere, and I don't know why they're so excited about knives, but like, there's knives everywhere, all right? And they just, like, I just don't get it. I understand that, all right? But I just hope that you're open to like, I hope that you're open to meeting these people. I hope that you're open to getting to know the people you work with, because we have an unbelievable group of people, unbelievable group of managers, unbelievable group of assistant managers that we work with, who, if you ever have the time to say, tell me your story, why are you here with Cutco? And you hear about their story and what they love about it, that right there will raise your conviction to another level, okay? And I really encourage you guys to, at some point, do that and find out, why are your assistant managers here? Why are your managers here? Because there's something that attracted them. And the more of those stories you learn, and even of your top reps, you know, like as we develop people and you learn their stories and you hear from them, like that always gave me like, you know, like it just made me feel good all the time, you know, knowing like, man, what I provided, what I was able to like help other people with, how it benefited them. I'm like, man, I felt so freaking good. And they're like, dude, because of you, like, you know, I did this and that. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know, and you ladies are the ones that provide that. And Lorena can tell you, like, our guy's like, you sent me for my interview, you know, whatever. Like, she takes pride in the people she sets up and that come in because she knows like what she's providing for them, because she's already known that. She's seen it for 3 years. She's seen how this has impacted and shaped people's lives, financially and personally, you know? So really know that. So that's the number one, huh?
Whether it's long term or just for
Or short term, all right? So I'd say that's the number one factor in what makes the best receptionist so good, all right? When you look at statistics and you're like, man, these girls, and people say, oh, they're experienced, right? They're the veterans. Man, those experienced girls get such good shows, all right? You wanna know why? Because of their conviction, all right? Their conviction in the program, in the process, in what we represent. It's not that they've been in the business for a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 10 like Lori. It's this. That's why they're so freaking good. Because you can be brand new and get good real quick, by the way. I can spend a day or 2 with you and make you really good. Ask Lorena. Like, I'll just sit there and I'll tear you up. And I'm like, don't say this, say that, say it like this. Because it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And I will fix you up real quick, all right? But it doesn't matter how much I fix you up if you don't have conviction in the company you work for and what you represent. And again, I don't expect someone who's brand new to walk in and be like, yeah, you know, you're just like, this is just kind of weird. I don't know why everyone's so excited. I don't know why they high five all the time. And I don't know why there's like random trophies and knives everywhere. And that's okay. Get to know your people so that increases. Because I promise you, when this increases, your numbers will increase, okay? Now, in terms of the, you know, tangible, you know, basics of the job and things that influence, you know, the next thing I think about that makes the biggest impact is connection, okay? How do you connect with the people that you talk to? Do they like you? You know, because the people we're working with, all right, most of them are 17 to 23 years of age. Cool? That's 85, 90% probably of the people that we work with are in that age bracket. We do have our sales professionals. We do have people in their 30s and 40s, but I'll tell you, the majority started when they were younger in college too. There are some though. There is a solid at least 10% that start past 40. All right, that start our company at 40, 50, 60 years old and love it and love the crazy young environment and are all about it. All right. And they get it. And they're like, this is awesome. I love the energy. I love the feel. Like, let's go. All right. But most of our people are high school students and college students. So, you know, do you connect with them? Do they feel comfortable with you? Okay. When we talk to them. Are you a robot? I remember, I'll pick on Lorena. She's our assistant divisional recruiting manager now. But when she started, I remember listening to her one day and I was like, whoa. And I sat next to her and she didn't even know I recorded her. And I just like put my phone on to record while she was on the phone. And she's like, okay, so, and you know, she's like trying to do everything because I'm watching her. I said, I'm going to observe you today, right? And so I'm like, you know, sitting there, so I'm like, she's got it. When I met her, I'm like, this girl will do freaking phenomenal, all right? Her shows were crap. And I was like, I don't get it. She's so good. She's got such a great voice. She has such a great energy. She's such a sweetheart. Like, there's no way she shouldn't get better shows. And when I sit to listen to her, she's just like so robotic. So like just very, very professional, very like, hi, whatever, back to marketing, you know, when calling IAPs and stuff. PRs are different than IAPs, all right? So we'll talk about that in mailers, but like, oh, hi, how can I help you? Yeah, Lorena was Vector, da-da-da, and like very like, like a very formal company, but she's calling PRs, you know? So I'm like, whoa, like these are our guys' friends that didn't apply for a job. So this is where it's different, and you have to learn the difference with the two, okay? Because when we're calling PRs, these are our guys' friends who had they didn't apply online, they didn't call us saying, hey, I'm looking for a job. We just totally caught them out of the blue because their buddy started working here. So when you talk to them, are you connecting with them right off the bat, or does it sound like some weird company or telemarketing company calling them? Because I've had girls so many times, I'm not interested, like right away. And they're like, hi, I'm calling from Vector. Click, I'm not interested. I'm like, they didn't even hear what you had to say. If you hear me call PRs, it's very personal. hey, Joe, hey, not sure if we've had a chance to meet yet. I'm like, actually, your buddy just started working with us. We're looking to fill some spots, and he thought you might do well with the position. You're like, oh, okay. You know, so just that connection right off that feel right off the bat. And you guys see, like, on the script here, you're like, hey, Julie, hey, this is Kathy. Not sure we've gotten a call from us before. I know we've had a lot of students, from Memorial work with us in the past, but I actually just started working with your friend Gustavo at his new job. How are you? And they're like, oh, hi, how are you? So it's very comfortable. They need to feel that connection and go, oh, they sound cool. They sound nice, not like some weird company's calling me, but it's like my buddy's buddy. Does that make sense? It needs to be your buddy's buddy. And so I remember like recording Lorena, and afterwards I just played it. And I'm like, is that how you talk to your friends? She's like, well, no. I'm like, I've never heard you, like, if you called your friends like that. I don't know if you remember that conversation. I'm like, if you called your friends like that, what would they say? They'd probably be like, dude, why are you talking like that, right? And they'd be like, you sound kind of weird. Like, if you called your friend, like, hi, this is Alex. Da-da-da-da. They'd be like, dude, what's wrong with you, right? They'd feel kind of weird. So talk to them like you're their friend. Let your personality rule. That's why we selected you, because we liked your energy, all right? So when you're going like, hey, what's up? Hey, this is Alex. Hey, I'm not sure if you've got a call from us before, but like we got a bunch of guys that worked with us from Sky Ranch. And anyway, we just started working with your buddy, Lloyd, and he said you were awesome. Might be able to help us out with some, position we're going to fill or, whatever. Here's the deal. We're going to read the approach, and the approach is great, okay? But it's not just the words, it's the music. Does that make sense? It's what's coming through those words. Because you can read these words very robotically. You can read these words very great and very professionally, or you could read these words and be very loose with it. And if I went around and had you guys each read, we're not going to do it right now, but I've heard it plenty of times in the past 12 years running an office, and new receptionists will be like, hi, Julianne. Hi, this is Ashlyn. I'm not sure we've gotten a call from us before. I know we've had a lot of students from Memorial work with us in the past, but I work with your friend Gustavo at his new job. How are you? Well, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm calling because we're looking to fill some positions we have available. And it sounds very nice and very sweet, but that's not how friends talk to friends. Got it? So if you want to have Kick Butt PR show, you are their friend. You are their friend that hasn't met them yet. Like, we're buds, we just haven't met yet. But like, you're their friend that hasn't met them. So everyone, you can follow along or hear it now. And I'm like, and if I call them like, hey, Ashlyn. Hey, Ashlyn, this is Kathy. Hey, I'm not sure if you've gotten a call from us before. We've had a ton of students from MAID work with us in the past, but I actually work with your friend Lorena at her new job. How are you? Okay, awesome. Hey, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm calling because we were looking to fill some positions we have available. All right. Hey, Lorena went through her phone, gave me your number because she thought you might be willing to help us out while making some extra income and building up your resume. Did she let you know I'd be calling? Oh, okay. So totally random, huh? Well, do you have a second? And Ashlyn, just so you know, it's a part-time customer sales and service position. It's the same thing Lorena does. It's really flexible, and I can keep going. Do you guys see the difference in that? Do you see the different feel in that? So it's a very friendly, and I remember, and I worked with this with Lorena, and I'm like, I want you to talk to me like a friend. How do you talk to your friends? Do you talk, hi, that sounds great, and that's super sweet, and I love it, but when we're calling PRs, we're calling a buddy. Got it? They're your friend you haven't made yet. You'll make friends with them when they come into the interview, all right? And you should look forward to meeting them when they come in for the interview, because then you'll be buddies. And Lorena can tell you she's made great friends with all of our top representatives. They all love and adore her. They always check in with her, and they will, really. You talk to them, they will be all your new friends, all right? They're a great bunch of people that we have come in. So are you connecting with them right off the bat? From that initial hello, do they feel comfortable like they're talking to a friend, not to some random company? Why is it company calling me on a Sunday? Or guys are like, who gave you my number? Hey, take me off a list. Who are you, right? Versus if you're like, hey, dude, what's up? Like, how? And they're like, should I know them? You guys ever have that before when someone's like, hey, and you're like, all right, and it's that kind of approach where they're just like, oh my gosh, should I know this person? Like, hey, I don't know, we got a chance to meet. Actually, your buddy just started working with our company, and so they're like, oh, okay, like, but that's the feel that should be coming through. All right, so is there that connection? The third thing after the connection is definitely the approach. All right, making sure that we are following the approach and not going off on a bunch of random tangents. That makes a difference. And not just the approach, but approach and objections. All right. Learning how to handle when they say, "Oh, well, I already have a job." I'm like, "Oh, awesome." I'm like, "Well, that's probably why they recommended this." I'm like, "It's awesome for your resume. Super flexible. You can actually make your own schedule, you know." And we have all the questions. You should always have those there. We're just getting really comfortable with that. Fact is, this is perfect for everybody. They have 3 jobs. This is great. They can work 5 to 7 hours a week doing this and get some killer experience. All right. If they have a job and they hate their job, this is great. You're gonna love it here. It's a great environment. All right. If they have a job, all right, but they make crap money, this is great. You can make great income. You know, but like you can always do it flexible. If they don't have a job, obviously this is great for them. All right. If they have like anything, flexibility that we have is phenomenal. By the way, I worked 3 jobs with this one. It was great because I could work it around it. I was a collegiate volleyball player. I was in the honors college. My life was from the gym to the library. So this was fantastic to be able to have around what I had going on and be able to make my own schedule. So it's great. People don't know that. They don't know they can do that. And I have people who have been like, "Oh, you can make it." They're like, "How's the schedule?" Because I have another job or because I have to train athletes that I've had during the summer that have very strict workout regimens that have tournaments and games, and those alter based on results. So they can't have like a set schedule because if they win, they need to go to the next level. Does that make sense? And so they love this because they can base around, and if they win, then they keep going in their series, and when they're done, then they'll start working. And so they love they can do that. So many of our kids go on vacations, right? I'm going to be gone a lot this summer. Do most jobs allow you to take off every other week? Absolutely not. So some students are like, "Well, I'm going to be gone a lot this summer." Well, hey, actually, that's probably why they recommended this. Super flexible. We have students that just work 1 to 5 weeks out of the summer with us, are still able to get great experience and make some great income. All right, and that's a fact. And so whether they work 1 week and they're gone, or they work 1 week and they're gone for 2 weeks, come back and work for a week, and they're gone for 2 weeks, and then they're back for 2 weeks. And I've had that. That was Bob Adon. His first summer, he made 20 grand. He worked 5 weeks of the summer, like so sporadically. Like his fast start, he made like 5 G's, left for a week, came back, worked for a week, goes, "Is it bad if I leave on vacation again?" I go, "Dude, you can do what you want. You get to make your schedule. What do you after the summer?" And he wanted to make a certain amount before he left to Notre Dame. I said, you can either work part-time all summer, you can work. He's like, "Can I work like really hard for a week and then go to Bimini for a week or 2, and then like work really hard for a week and then like go to," and I'm like, "You can do whatever you want." He's like, "Heck yeah." And that's what he did. And he just like would go out on the boat and go fishing and go with his buddies down to the Bahamas and then come back and bust it out for a week and then leave again. Everyone called him the ghost in some way. Like, does this kid really exist? Because they see him on the report and like, "Who is this kid?" And he's like, work, show, and then leave and be gone for 2 weeks. And then come back and work, and then be gone. All right? So whatever. But are you good with the approach? Are you good with your objections? All right? And within that, this is the initial, connection, but then also rapport through the process. So really, like, the connection goes through the whole thing. I mean, it starts in the beginning, and that's why I was talking to Kendall about this last week, because I heard her doing a call, and someone had said something, and I heard her go like, "Oh, no way." And then I never heard anything after it. I'm like, "Oh, no, wait, what?" Like, I was waiting to hear, like, what the "oh, no, wait" was about. And when we were talking later, she's like, she said something happened, and then, like, right, and her mom did or something, and I go, "Dude, you should say that." That's part of, like, connecting rapport. When they're like, when they have something in connection with you, guess what? You just increased your show by like 5%. Just letting you know. Anytime they can connect, like, "Oh, me too." Whether it's I have a friend that did this, or "Oh my gosh," or you laugh. And it doesn't have to be that they did the same thing, but there's that, like, they connect with you in that moment. Whether it's because they did the same thing, they laugh about it, or they're studying, I don't know what, like, for instance, mathematics and physics and da-da-da. You're like, "Dude, good for you." You're like, "I'm an art major," they just start laughing or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." Boom, you just increased your show by 5%, all right? So what are you doing to make them connect with you, making them laugh? Like, anytime, that's it, and you could write that down, make them laugh. Like, is there, at some point, do they laugh during the conversation? Like, "Man, this person's cool. This is someone I'd want to meet," all right? And so they need to have that connection with you. So do you build rapport? Rapport is very easy when you're talking about school or studies or any jobs they've had in the past, all right? That's the biggest place where you build rapport with them, all right? So we're like, "Oh, where do you go to school?" You're like, "Oh, that's cool. How do you like it there?" And that might not, in the approach, it might not go into, it says, "Are you a student or are you working right now?" And then it says, if you're a student, "Oh, where do you go to school?" "Oh, great, we've had a lot of people from there." And that could be really like, "Oh, great," very robotic, or like, "Oh, a couple of our top reps, I think actually one of our guys, Jay does it, like, and the more specific you can be, even better. And you might not know everybody, but I know one of the things I'm gonna encourage all the managers, and I know I want Loretta to do, because like usually she'll know, but it's having a list of like our schools and our kids who go to those schools, because it's always awesome to name drop people. And that's something that helps me connect with people really well. And our best girls connect with people really well. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, you go to, Pope John. Oh, that's awesome. One of our top guys, James, he's really good friends with Samantha, whatever, from there. And like, I know Samantha. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Boom, connection. Got it? So it's one of the easiest places to connect is through jobs in the past, what they're studying, where they're going. How do you like it? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Right? It doesn't say that here. It just says, where you go? Where do you go to school? Okay, great. Right? It doesn't say beyond that, but I'm just saying this is your foundation. This right here is the foundation. It's your skeleton, and this is what we want to follow. But the best people, they know how to connect. And this is where you have a little permission to go. You're not going off script. You're just spending a little extra time of like, how do you like it? Are you excited? Hey, that's awesome. Right now, guess what we're going to have? A lot of seniors calling in 2-3 weeks from now, okay? And even now, as we're getting PRs, we might have seniors that we're talking to. Like, I'm going to be calling today. Most of the guys we're calling are high school seniors, okay? So our girls, you guys need to be ready to be like, are you so excited for graduation? A couple weeks away. What's every kid going to say? Oh, my God, yes. I'm like, I know. Every senior I've talked to, I'm like, oh, so you're a senior? I'm like, you counting the days down? They're like, huh. You have no idea. I'm like, I had senioritis in sophomore year. They're like, yeah, I think I started about then too. And they boom, connection. And I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, where are you going to school in the fall? I'm like, oh, I'm going to UT. Oh, I'm going to A&M. Oh, I'm going to, TCU. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I said, that's really cool. Hey, just so you know, we actually work really close with all the universities, and we keep going. And it says here, if they're, it says it's in the gray, it says, hey, well, just so you know, we're a huge student program. Students are actually able to compete for scholarships, even earn college credits. Also, schedules are really flexible, which is great around classes or other obligations. And they're like, oh, it's really cool. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, well, hey, we're looking for some help right away. Unfortunately, we can't make a decision over the phone, but since you were referred by Gustavo, the manager would love to meet you personally and give you the details, okay? And they're like, all right, yeah, all right. But they feel really good about that after they've connected with you, all right? So you go through that, connect, you build, and I'm gonna put your number 5 is build urgency for a time. All right, build urgency for a time, and number 6 is firm up. All right, number 6 is firm up. And guys, so build urgency for a time, because I can just say like, oh, hey, Ashlyn, I can get you in at 4 tomorrow. And by the way, if they're available at 4, are you going to set them up? Absolutely, absolutely. But when you build urgency, this is something I teach our sales reps too. You can set appointments without building urgency. You guys can set people for interviews without building urgency. But when you build urgency, all right, it increases your show percentage automatically. And it also increases your schedule percentage, all right? So instead of just giving away times, all right, I don't give away times ever. I'm like, well, hey, look, manager's trying to make decisions right away. So he's like, hey, we're looking for some help right away. Unfortunately, we can't make a decision over the phone. But since you were referred, by Julie, the manager definitely wants to meet you and give you, personally give you the details, okay? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, hey, just so I have your right, do I have your name? I'm like, all right, great. I'm like, well, hey, our managers interview on a first applied, first considered basis. Why don't you tell me what your schedule looks like for the next couple of days in general? And they're like, all right. And then, guys, you see there, pause, and then you're like, hey, it looks like I can get you squeezed in at blank time. So you could say, so it looks like I can get you squeezed in at blank time. Does that sound like you really found me this time? Like, no, heck no. So that's why, hey, it looks like I can actually squeeze you in at blank time. How does that sound? And they're like, oh, yeah. And they feel really good you found them a time psychologically. So they're going to show it a higher percentage because you found that time versus if you're like, well, how's 4? Oh, no. Okay, well, how about the next day? Okay, oh, well, then I'll call you the next day. And there's always time. There's no urgency to come in now. Why now versus later? Well, guys, we know the sooner they come in, the higher chance they have of showing. We know that they're not just applying at Cutco Vector. If they're looking for a job, they're applying at a lot of places. And if we're going to give them the best service, we want them to come in right away and check it out so they can see how freaking awesome it is and not get stuck working at Dandy Bear or something, So because we didn't do improper service, because we let them apply 3 days later and they went to some awful job, but they just needed a job and they said yes before they got to us. All right. So make sure we build. And then, by the way, I'm going to walk through the approach right now with all of you guys following along. But I just want to go through like the objectives before we went through the words. Because if you understand, first, do I have conviction? All right, that's above everything. And then, do I have that initial connection? Am I following the approach and handling objections or questions the right way? You have exactly what to say. And the fact is, it all comes back to like making them feel really comfortable. Everything's perfect for them. Like, it's super flexible. There's opportunities for students. It's great for your resume. Like, this is an awesome job for any young person. Are you building rapport and connecting? Where it's like, oh man, we have a bunch of guys that do that or go there or whatever it is. Are you building urgency to get them in? And then are you firming up and saying, hey, is this definitely a good time that works for you? All right, awesome. Super excited. I got you all set up to meet with Mr. Giratano. He's going to go through everything with you. He's fantastic. He'll answer all your questions. Hey, I look forward to meeting you. When you come in, make sure to say hi. You know, and that's something I'll tell you guys that my top girls would always do naturally. That's not necessarily in here. It just says, hey, we'll see you soon. You know, my top girls would be like, hey, make sure you ask for me when you come. I'd love to say hello. And people felt very connected. Does that make sense? All right. So those are more advanced tips through there. So let's walk through the approach. Everyone go to the front. All right. So we start off, all right, right at the top. So again, it's not, hi, Mary Lou, this is Kathy. Not sure if you've gotten a call from us before, but I know we've had a lot of students who blank work with us. You were selected because your managers liked you. All right. So be you. Have fun with your customers, and it's okay. And I don't know if, I feel like sometimes you guys just need to have a little permission to do that. Because I remember like just seeing night and day change with Lorena when she was talking to people and just like, hey, you know, and it was awesome. And I was like, heck yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted that girl I met in the interview. All right. So that's how I want you. Just like, hey, how are you? Like, you got to pretend like you're talking to them face to face. Because you guys have to remember too, your nonverbals do make an impact. Okay. Well, on the phone, we lose nonverbal, right? Majority of communication is what? Nonverbal, your body language. So you have, and there's different, I've seen different studies and different percentages, but it's about 60% nonverbal, about 30% tonation and how you deliver, and 10% the actual words. Okay? Well, guess what? On the phone, what are we losing? 60%. But the fact is that your nonverbals still can be heard through the phone. That how your face is, how you look, you can hear it, all right? For instance, smile, everyone smile, all right? And I'm gonna have you guys look at the person next to you. You guys look at each other, all right? You can look at Abby. All right, you guys look at each other. Ashlyn, you're gonna be with Alex. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna look at the person next to you, all right? And I want you guys, Mary Lou, all right? You guys are right here. I want you to look at the person next to you, and you're gonna say like, in a mean voice, no, here's what I want you to do. Like serious, like I want you to be like, I don't like you, but I want you to do it with a smile. Like, I don't like you, and then go like this and go, try to say it again, all right? So go, I don't like you, and then go like this and try to do it. Go. Try to say it in a mean voice, all right? Try to say it. Go, try to say it. With a big smile, but in a mean voice, all right? So, and by the way, the fact is your vocal cords don't allow it. I can be like, I don't like you. And you're like, I don't like you. And like, it just doesn't sound the same. All right. Because when your vocal cords do different things, like it sounds different. All right. And so people can hear you smile over the phone because your voice just sounds a different way when you do. I don't know if you guys ever done that before when you're younger, like, are you smiling? You can like, you know, their voice like changes. You're like, happy. Like when you're smiling, just not like how we were made, it does something different. So when you talk to people, the best people on the phones talk to people on the phones like is as if they were in front of them. That's how they talk to them. They're not like, I'm on the phone and I'm bored out of my mind. They're like, hey, how are you? Da, 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 da. And they're like very animated on the phone because all that goes through the phone and they can feel it. And I'll tell you, if I put you in front of any of my best receptionists that I've ever known or seen work, all right, in Vector, they are so animated. They're so friendly. You're like, are they on Skype or something, right? They could be like FaceTiming, you know, like it looks like they're FaceTiming, but they're just talking on the phone, but they're like, oh my God, and yeah, da, da, da. They're very animated, and they can hear it. And you're like, man, these people are awesome. And they can feel that. Where it's very easy to just, for your body language, to just be like hunched and on the phone and whatever. Don't do that. That's going to kill you, all right? Open up. be vibrant, pretend they're in front of you, pretend they're on FaceTime. It makes a world of a difference. Cool? So it's just like an extra bonus tip for me is just what your body language and what's happening as you're going through this call. So we start the call and I'm like, all right, cool. So, hey, I'm not sure if you've gotten a call from us before. I know we had a lot of students from whoever worked with us in the past, but your friend Julie, just started. I work with your friend Julie at her new job. How are you? And they're like, oh yeah, hey. I'm like, well, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm just calling because we're looking to fill some positions we have available. And Julie actually went through her phone and gave me your number because she thought you might be willing to help us out while making some extra income and building up your resume. So she let you know I'd be calling, all right? And they'll say, yes or no. Majority are going to say what? Oh, no, she didn't tell me. Because many times they won't give me a heads up, but once in a while you'll have someone go, oh, yeah, she told me. All right, I'm like, oh, cool. But I expect them to say most of the time. When they do, I'm like, oh, so I'm totally catching you off guard, huh? Like, yeah. I'm like, all right, no worries. And then I keep going. So that's not in there. Again, that's like a little bonus thing, but it's about making them feel comfortable, right? Versus, oh, this is awkward. It's like, oh, dude, so I'm totally catching you off guard, huh? They're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, so sorry. I'm like, no, what's up? I'm like, what's a part-time customer sales and service position? That's the same thing that Lorena does, by the way. It's really flexible. Starting pay is $16. So even if your schedule is limited and you're only available for a week or two, or maybe just a few hours a week, we could still use the help. Do you guys see the flow of that, by the way? Because you could easily do this. It's really flexible and the starting fee is $16. So even if your schedule's limited and you're only available for a week or two, or maybe just a few hours a week, we could still use the help. If it's a good fit, of course, you can continue working. You are following the approach. You do have a nice voice, but do you feel the same connection there? All right. No, like it just sounds like someone's reading at you versus having a conversation with you. Do you guys see the difference there? Okay. Anyone can read a script to someone. The best girls can have a conversation with someone through the script. Got it? All right. So anyone can pick up a script and read it at you, but it's different for me to go, hey, Andrew, it's really flexible. Starting pay is $16. And if you guys follow along, I'm doing this word for word, by the way. All right. So version 1 was the one I just did, which is reading at them. It's really flexible and the starting pay is $16. So even if your schedule's limited and you're only able to work for a week or two, or maybe a few hours a week, we could still use the help. If it's a good fit, of course, you can continue working. Cool. You read at them. You sounded good reading. I would say that's a newer receptionist following the script. Got it? A kick butt person who knows how to connect is not reading a script to someone. They're having a conversation through the script. Listen again. So, hey, Andrew, it's really flexible and the starting pay is $16. So even if your schedule's limited and you're only available for a week or two, or maybe just a few hours a week, we could still use the help. If it's a good fit, of course you can continue working. So I can assume, Andrew, you're at least 17? Okay, awesome. All right, we can go. Do you guys see the difference, how it sounds there? All right. So again, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. It is meant to be very, very conversational. All right. And so I want you guys to know that. We want you to influx. We want the pauses. We want the, oh, great, to go through that. So I'm going to keep reading through here. So are you a student? Or are you currently working right now? All right, great. So where do you go to school, Andrew?
I go to
Lone Star? Oh, great. Actually, one of our top guys, Andres Chavez. Alex actually goes to that school right now. How are you liking it there? Yeah. Are you planning on transferring anywhere?
Yeah, I'm trying to get you.
Oh, perfect. Actually, that's what he's doing too. Pretty funny. Well, just so you know, we're a huge student program. Students are able to compete for scholarships and even earn college credits. Also, schedules are really flexible, which is great around classes or other obligations. And did you say you were working too at a restaurant? Ah, nice. All right, cool. Lucky you. Well, you could probably use some extra cash or experience for your resume, couldn't you? Cool. Well, hey, we're looking for some help right away. Unfortunately, we can't make a decision over phone, but since you were referred by Eric, and the manager would love to meet you and personally give you the details, okay? All right, awesome. And just to make sure I have it right, can you spell your name for me? And by the way, if it's an easy name like that, Andrew, I'll go. And just to make sure I have it right, it's Andrew. I'll say to them. All right, and he might be like, oh no, it's Andryw. Like sometimes there's like the weirdest changes to like a simple name. I'm like, oh, okay, got it. If they say Kathy, I'd be like, hey, is it Kathy with a C or a K? like, oh, with a C. Like I'm always happy when people ask me. I'm like, oh, thanks for asking. It's a C, not a K. And just so we have that. All right. So by the way, that's just so you don't sound like silly. Like my name is John. You're like, so just can you spell that for me? It's like you don't know how to spell John. You can just say, hey, just to make sure I have it right. Are you John John or without an H? Oh yeah, with an H. Or they go, actually without an H. Thanks for asking. I'm like, hey, no worries. And let's see here. I'm like, all right, well, hey, John, managers interview on a first applied, first considered basis. Why don't you tell me what your schedule looks like for the next couple of days in general? All right, cool. Hey, it looks like I can get you squeezed in at 4 p.m. Does that work? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, all right, awesome. If they say no, I'm like, oh, okay, well, hey, if I were you, and by the way, again, this needs to change. I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to find them a time. It's not well, if I were you, I'd come in as soon as possible. I once heard someone say that. I want to throw something at their head, all right? Or you could just say it normal of like, oh, really? If I were you, I'd come in as soon as possible. Is there any way you can adjust your schedule? It's like reading it versus it being like, wait, like, what the heck, dude? And them getting defensive because of how you said that. It's actually like they feel really like, oh, thanks for helping me. How you say it when you go, I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, well, hey, if I were you, I'd come in as soon as possible. I'm like, is there any way you can adjust your schedule? Like, I definitely want to help you out. And they're like, oh, well, maybe I could have someone pick my sister up or maybe do you guys see the difference there? All right. So you need to be the person helping them so they can find this job. They can get this job. So this is really important. All right. Then you're like, all right, great. Well, hey, I've got you all set up, and if not, we go from there. And I'm like, I'm going to schedule you for 6:45 tonight, and that still gets you in soon, and it still gives you a chance to meet with the manager right away. You feel good? I'm like, all right, perfect. And just as a backup, let me get your email real quick, and I'll send you a copy of the address and directions, all right? And is this your cell phone number? Okay, cool. I'll set the computer to send out a quick reminder text before your interview. Cool? All right. And do you have a pen and paper so I can give you the address? Are you going to use GPS, by the way, or do you need turn-by-turn directions? All right, perfect. And then we'll get them for that. And then when you finish, that's the firm up there at the end, guys. And again, not just what you say, but how you say it. Hey, Susie, the manager will be excited to meet you 6:45 tonight. You're going to meet with Mary Lou Chang, and Miss Chang, her last name is Chang. All right. And by the way, it'd be a good idea to try to arrive about 10 to 15 minutes early just in case of any traffic. All right. And well, that's it, Mary Lou. I've got everything I need. It was great talking to you. We will see you at 6:45. And if you're going to be there, say, hey, by the way, ask for me. I'll actually be here. I'd love to say hi. That's an extra bonus. If you're going to be there, say that. If you're not going to be there, don't say that. All right. And they're like, all right, great. I'm like, hey, we'll see you later tonight. Boom, done. All right. So those are really my keys for you guys. And I know I took longer than I planned. I planned on like 45 minutes, but I talk a lot. And I kind of get in the groove and I just start going. But I know that if we get this down though, I know the influence and impact that it can have in our organization. So I wanted to take just 2 minutes real quick from you guys, girls that have been making calls already, veterans, anyone, any light bulbs that went off, like, man, I haven't been doing that, or good reminders or things that you feel were good. I want to hear takeaways from this.
Well, you didn't mention this here, but I like when you said this is our pilot headquarters.
Oh, yeah.
Made my show go up.
Cool. So that's a huge key. So with show, in terms of directions, thank you for mentioning that, because I wanted to cover that. That should be in here. When we go to set them for the time, so you guys can add a little note where you go to schedule them to give them the address. All right. So when you're like, hey, so let me give you a pen and paper to give you our address. You guys can add by the way, this is our Northwest headquarters, or hey, by the way, this is our Central headquarters, or by the way, this is our North Houston headquarters, whatever area we're in. So we say, hey, this is our pilot headquarters. Reason being is you're going to have people coming from different areas, right? So if someone's 40 minutes away, they might think to themselves, I don't want to drive 40 minutes to work every day, okay? So this is an added bonus of, hey, by the way, this is our Northwest headquarters, and you can write down, this is where all the interviewing and training is done for the area, all right? So this is our headquarters, whatever headquarters. This is where the interviewing, all right, and training is done for the area, all right? If selected, you can work closer to home. All right. So let them know that. So when you give them the address, I'm like, hey, just so you know, our address, we're located over on Highway 6, we're 16, and just so you know, this is actually our pilot headquarters. So this is where all the interviewing and training is done for the West Houston area. But if selected, you can definitely work down in the Memorial area. Or if selected, you can definitely work out in the Katy area. Or if selected, you can definitely work out in the Cinco Ranch area. Cool? So you're able to make it over here for the interview? Perfect. You know, and just make sure they know that. So they're like, oh, okay, cool. That's just where the interview and training is done, but I can work in the Cinco Ranch area, or I can work in the Seven Lakes area. I don't have to drive there every single day, 35 minutes, or if it's traffic, more. So that's important, because that is another huge thing that hurts show, is when someone puts it in their GPS and then it says 38 minutes to interview, and they're like, oh, I can't do that every day. I want something right near my house. And then they don't show up, where they didn't know they didn't have to drive there every day. So adding that there actually makes a significant, I think it makes probably closer to a 10% impact, but at least another 5%. I think it's more. I think there's a lot of people that when they see how far it is, they're like, oh, I don't want to do that every day. But if we handle that, then they're like, oh, that's just where I'm going to interview and train, but I can work at home. Cool. So that impacts big time. Cool. So good. I'm glad that helped you out. Other things that we went through today. Biggest, I want to go around real quick. Biggest takeaway, even from our veterans. Go.
Well, one thing I covered during training is the 5 steps to a good call, and she mentioned all of them. And the only one that's not on there is conviction. So I think that definitely needs to be added on there. I love that.
Cool. And that's just, that comes naturally for people that have been here. So it's not like you have to have, we can't teach you guys, you have to have conviction, because you're like, dude, I just started, you know, that comes naturally with time. But that's why I said I encourage you guys to ask questions to your managers and ask questions to your assistant managers and say, Philippe, why the heck are you here? You know, why are you doing this weird knife job? What do you like about it? It's kind of a weird job. This is one of the weirdest jobs. So ask them why they're here, because that'll help build your conviction for sure. So far.
As you went through the script, I wrote down, I guess, what type of demeanor to have as you're covering the different steps.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, when you get here down to like scheduling, be helpful, but also concerned to find them enough time right away.
Mm-hmm.
And just different things as I went through the rest of it. And also, one big takeaway was have a conversation with them through the script.
Yep, not just talking, not just reading the script to them. All right, cool. Abby? Mm-hmm. Nope. Yeah. So instead being like, hey, what's your schedule today tomorrow? Because I really want to help you out, you know, and finding out and be like, all right, let me see what I can do for you. And by doing that, like, they're going to show at a much higher rate too, because you found them that time, you know. So psychologically, they're going to show at a higher rate.
The initial connection, because sometimes it's hard for me to connect over the phone with people. Some people are kind of anal, and some people aren't. So that definitely helps.
Just say like you're talking to a friend. Just pretend you just called one of your best friends. Hey, what's up? You know, and be like, hey, da da da. And they're like, no.
One thing that helped me, by the way, to get a lot more people on the phone, is that instead of saying, hey, is this James? It's like, hey, James. So it's kind of like
you called your buddy, you know.
You know, you're not going to call your buddy and say, hey, is this Ashlyn? No, you know it's Ashlyn.
Because you called Ashlyn. And that's why it says there, hey, blank. So you're just like, oh, hey, Ashlyn. Where naturally you might go, hey, is this so-and-so? Never, it doesn't even say that here. It's just like, hey, Alex. And you're like, hey, you know? So that, like, who's calling me? Like, apparently I'm supposed to know them, because no one, like, if they don't know you, they say, hey, is this so-and-so? If they say, hey, Alex, then you're like, all right, and right away you're like, hey, I'm sure you got a call from us before. I know we've had a lot of students work with us from, you know, blank area in the past, but I work with your friend, you know, Ashlyn, at her new job. How are you? And they're like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, hey, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm just calling because we were looking to fill some positions we have available. So Ashlyn actually went through her phone. She thought you might be willing to help us out while making some extra income and building your resume. Did she let you know I'd be calling? You know, and just kind of slow down.
Hi, is this James? You're going to be that aside from that. You know, they're not
Mm-hmm. Cool. Kendall.
Just like how we should like building connection and also producing and also since I feel like all the different things we have, they teach you how to build your own business and do stuff like that, because a lot of people are like, well, how does this really help me? And so like telling them that it also kind of helps build credibility about the company, because some people
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Ashley, yours.
Definitely the building urgency part. And then whether you're wanting your time over time and then, oh wait, you're going to say no and you go back and say, hey, oh, I have this time and I have that problem.
If they really need a job or want to check it out, if you connect with them, now here's the difference, ready? With incoming, they needed a job. They better all come into the next freaking time I have available. You should drop whatever you're doing. Like you needed a job and I have a spot available for you to meet with the manager. You know, like why would you not come in? Now with PRs, right. So, but if you were like, hey, the manager's making decisions by tonight, do you think they might rearrange stuff to make sure they got there? If they're calling in and applying, so let's go two parts, right? So we're going for people applying. We're talking about IAPs, we're talking about mailers, we're talking about, anyone from school, anyone who calls us, right? So we have PRs that we call them because their buddy recommended them, but then everyone else who applies. If they apply for a job and we're finalizing our decisions by tomorrow, are they going to find a way to get in? I skipped school to go to my interview, just so you know, because I really needed something and I needed to make money, so I go to Europe that fall and study abroad. So I skipped school and I went to the interview. So if someone really does need a job, they're going to find a way to get there. But if you make it like we have interviews whenever, then they're not going to be urgent to come in. And you're not doing them a proper service. So, and then with people who are recommended, I let them know, hey, just, we have a lot of people applying online and calling in. Hey, manager likes to give opportunities before friends, to friends before random people. So I definitely want to help you out. And it's that feel of like, hey, let me see what I can do for you. We've had tons of people applying, but I know that since Julie recommended you, she really wants to meet you and go through the details. So what's your schedule look like today or tomorrow to see if I can make something work? And they're like, oh, well, I have this. I'm like, all right, let me see. You know what? I have a time I can squeeze you into later tonight at blank time. How does that sound? And they're like, oh, yeah, perfect. And so you're helping them find that time that's fast for them. So cool. All right. Yes, Alex.
Yeah, basically just the connection and rapport. I feel like it'll get better once I learn the script more just off my memory. Because I find myself just reading this and then hearing myself just going through the script instead of having that connection with them. Mostly because they say something and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, well this is this. Instead of having that connection, owning it right off my head, how to answer questions.
I think it's good, by the way, where you go into, are you a student or currently working? This is an easy spot. By the way, if you guys want to do this, I did this when I was a receptionist and many of my top girls have done this to mark off so are you at least 17? And this next little section is just chit-chatting about school and work. So it doesn't need to be verbatim, that little part, okay? We're just asking, oh, you're saying, oh, whatever. And once you're done connecting, then what do you say? Put a star next to, well, hey, Alex, we're looking for help right away. You get right back into the script. Cool? That's a place that I always tell people. This part, have fun with it.
I want to do it a couple times.
Have fun with it. Just connect with them. Oh, how do you like it? Okay, awesome. And then boom. Well, hey, we're looking for some help right away. And then you get into that. Cool. And that makes, because that's probably, I feel that's the part you can get most easily lost. Because you're like, what was I supposed to say? You're just supposed to connect and then keep going from there. Cool? So does that help? Yeah. Great. All right. Andrew, biggest takeaway?